How was I able to generate $1 million in just 30 days? What's poppin', people? It's your boy, the Beast of Ecom, and I am back with another video, dropping nothing but you already know, value bombs. So, $1 million in 30 days. Firstly, there we go. Let that focus. Yes, my phone screen is still cracked. It's not a priority right about now, but I promise I will get it fixed, okay? But putting that aside for 1 second, I wanted to talk to you in this video today, some of the tips, tricks, and sort of things that I've done to help my store generate over $1 million in 30 days. Now, I've always wanted to hit $1 million in a month, and I tried to do it last year, came close, but didn't achieve it. But this year, we was able to hit the milestone. I think it's super important I'm completely transparent with you guys, okay, with sharing my goals. Because, you know, right from when I started this first channel, I said that I wanted to hit 10,000 subscribers before the end of this year, which I've already done. So thank you to subscribing to the channel. And of course, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, then make sure you like, comment, and of course, smash that subscribe button. And it's important to have goals no matter how big or small they are to help you keep moving towards your dream or goals or whatever they may be. But I'm going to cover 4 main important things in this video today. So make sure you watch absolutely all of it. You don't want to miss a single bit. I'm going to talk about a bit about product and of course testing, and then some of the things that we're working in terms of scaling in the month of November, and of course retargeting as well. So I can pretty much guarantee you're going to get some value from this one. You know, my content is pretty much no BS, no fluff, no gimmicks, you know, no lardy-dardy sort of stuff like that, just absolute pure content. So if you do, make sure you drop a comment down below, hashtag value bombs, lets me know that I put out some good content. So let's quit the talking, let's jump straight into the video and let's get on with some learning. Okay, so like I mentioned, I'm going to go over 4 key points, okay? You know, if you ever watched my content before, then you'll know that it's no fluff, no BS, no, you know, gimmicks or anything like that. So, of course, make sure you drop a comment down below, hashtag value bombs, if you get some value from this one. And, of course, if you are not a subscriber and you're watching this video, then make sure you hit subscribe and, of course, the notification bell as well, so that you don't miss any of my content exactly like this, okay? So, let's crack on with it. So these are the 4 things that I'm going to cover, okay, in this video of how my Shopify store did over $1 million in just 30 days. And these are the 4 key things. So I'm going to talk about product. I'm not going to actually reveal the product, of course, but I'm going to talk a bit about product. Then, of course, around about testing and scaling, some of the things that were working for myself in November, the month of November, and of course, retargeting as well. So mainly the 4 key points. So we're going to cover all of that. Again, make sure you watch to the end because you don't want to miss, you know, any of this video. So first and foremost, the product. And of course, anyone out there knows that product is key. So let's talk about product. Now, the first thing is there's 2 main categories to, you know, 2 main categories or types of products that you can sell that can make up winners. First and foremost is, of course, find a product that solves a problem, or on the flip side, something that is cool, quirky, unique, and has a wow effect. 2 are the main categories. You know, every single product, if I look back at any single product that I've sold, they fall into at least one of those 2 categories, okay? They either solve a problem or they have the wow effect. And it's critical that you sell a product with at least one of those factors, okay? Anything else, if you're just selling generic products or anything like that, you're not going to make any sort of sales. So, you know, these are 2 main important things. Now, this product itself in question that was bringing over probably, I'd say, about 65, close to 75% of the sales, did not solve a problem whatsoever, okay? Now, if anyone out there is saying, oh, you know, you have to find a product that solves a problem, you know, on the flip side, like I mentioned, this product that done close to over $1 million in 30 days did not solve any problem whatsoever. However, of course, it was cute, it was cool, and had a wow effect. Now, of course, it was a great buy for Christmas and unique to the niche. Now, being in Q4 is a fantastic time. Things are a little bit different. because of course there's months leading up to Christmas. People are very much looking for products which are, not so much solve a problem, but are cool, are unique. And, because they're buying for friends, they're buying for family, they're buying for, colleagues or whatever it may be. So that you get a very special time in Q4 to find those products or start testing more products which are more around, the wow effect and being great buys for Christmas. And of course, this product itself was unique to the niche. Now, of course, an easier way, if you're just getting up and running, if you're a person who's not made any sales whatsoever, then of course the easier route is to find something which is already working or has, great engagement already, which of course is a fantastic indicator on whether or not a product will be a great selling product or not, is the engagement. If it's already getting great engagement on Facebook, on the platform that you're intending to sell. Okay, and of course I use many different ways to sell, to find winning products, but this is just one website that you can use. It's Lookup ID. I'll show you it really quickly. I've already loaded it up actually, so let's just go on to load it, the one that I've loaded up. And like I said, it's lookup-id.com. And in here, if you scroll down to the one that says keywords, so that's it there, you scroll down to keywords, and if we just type in keyword like let's just put in get yours and hit that smash button, search button should I say, and you can see here what it does is it pulls up a load of different adverts. Well, they're not adverts essentially, but they're anything that is public, so not a dark post because it doesn't search dark posts, but it shows you the engagement. We can see here 1,000 likes on this one. We can see this one here, 21k likes. This one's got 90 million views on it. This one here, 300k views on it. And again, all these sorts of different products. So if you're looking for something to, this one's got 5,000 shares on it. So these are all products which have, potential essentially because they're getting great engagement on the platform Facebook. So that is just one tool that I like to use, and again, it's 100% free, so make sure you check out that website there, lookup-id.com, and just play around with your search terms in this little keyword box here. Fantastic little neat tool. Okay, so moving on, let's talk about testing now. Again, so there's some prerequisites to testing, okay? And for each one, I'm going to talk about these sort of things that you need to, if you don't know what that word means, basically things that you need to do before you do your testing, or kind of things that you need to learn or understand before you do your testing, or before you do your scaling, or before you do your retargeting. So I'm going to talk about some of these as well. So first things first is know your niche, and it really reduces throwing crap at a wall. Now, I personally know the niche that I'm selling, so it makes things not easier, but I know what sort of products I can potentially test that may get a better result than just anyone who hasn't been in the niche and doesn't have any idea whatsoever. So a way to kind of know your niche as well is you're going to start to understand what sort of interests are working for your niche, what sort of types of products that your niche is reacting to, and you need to store that data so you can refer back to it. For example, if you're selling let's just say a cat mug or something like that, or let's say you're selling a cat mug, then you might find that certain interests on this win. If your cat mug was a winning product, you're going to find that certain interests were bringing in fantastic sales, and then what might happen is when you go out and look for another product and you may have found another cat mug, you can then go back and test those first, your best interests first. Okay, and of course you're going to then know that cat mugs can make you sales. You can then start looking for different cat mugs in the niche. But that's that's just basically a quick way of saying basically just know your niche. Okay, now remember, of course, you are buying data and not losing money. And I always pretty much say this. A lot of people, newbies, if you're watching this video, you've spent whatever it may be and I've lost money and I've lost this, or I've lost that. No, you haven't lost anything. You've just brought some data and the data is telling you something in the funnel isn't working. whether it be the product, whether it be the audience, whether it be something on your website, whether it be the price, whether it be your creative, whatever it may be, if the data is telling you something there is wrong and is not not in place. You haven't got the right price, you haven't got the right product, you haven't got the right offer essentially. So you've just got to test. Okay, so buying data, not losing money. Now, of course, make sure your product descriptions are all on point, okay? And I've got videos out there on product descriptions, so feel free to go through my videos and find a video on doing a high converting product description. But of course, before you're testing, you want to make sure, of course, all of your pictures are on point, all of your product descriptions and stuff like that are on point, just to improve the probability of converting visitors into buyers. I remember I've put that in italic there. Talk about the benefits and, of course, not the features. No one really cares about the features because, remember, people are impulse buying, okay? How does it make them feel and stuff like that when they own the product? So remember, benefits, not features when it comes before testing. And of course, make sure that your site is optimized for conversion. So, this isn't a video on conversion hacks or anything like that. But of course, you want to make sure that your paid load speed is great. You want to make sure that, of course, you've got trust badges, etc., and all these sorts of different things to help improve your conversions. Okay, so make sure that your site is, of course, optimized for conversions and your conversion rate is generally overall good before, of course, testing products. So, actual testing. Now, of course, this here was website conversion purchase campaign. And of course, alongside it, what I ran was a PPE campaign as well. And it was a video advert. This was only to tier 1 countries, okay? So your big top English speaking countries, this is what I was targeting. 6 to 8 ad sets, broad interests, of course, over 1 million is generally what I like to do now. And of course, I like to use previously used, well-performing lookalike audiences. And like I've mentioned previously before, knowing your niche helps massively with this, okay? And of course, custom audiences of previous winners. Like I mentioned, if I had a product, if I'm in the cat niche and I knew that the cat mug was working and now I'm testing a cat pillow, I'm going to go and try and use all of those custom audiences that I built from the cat mug with this product to help, spur it off and put it in front of the most warmest people. $8 per ad set. And of course, overall, taking everything into consideration was about 12 ad sets. And, I generally knew that this product was going to be a good one. So I put quite a lot of faith into this one. And again, you don't have to do as many ad sets as that to start with, depending on, of course, your budget. So this is what it generally looks like. Again, it wasn't 3 ad sets, and I'm going to pull up the little WYSIWYG here. So you can see here the purchase campaign, and of course so it wasn't 3 ad sets, but these were all ad sets. This was just the easiest way to do it rather than splitting those into 8 ad sets and just taking up tons of time. So 6 to 8 broad interests, and each ad set had 2 creatives. You can see here, I put in some lookalike audiences as well, my well-performing ones, again, creative 1 and creative 2, and again, some custom audiences as well of people who had liked, a similar product or viewed a similar product or added to cart a similar product or purchased a similar product, and again, ran those same creatives. Now, if you're just starting out, this may look kind of hard for you or you may not understand it. So, go through some of my other videos and stuff like that and kind of make things a little bit easier. But for those who have been doing things before, this may make some sense, okay? But that was the general structure of the website conversion campaign. Then, of course, the PPE campaign as well. We've got the that was ran alongside for engagement, just 1 to 2 broad interests, and again with the same 2 creatives. And you can see that they're exactly the same. So let's talk about some scaling now as well, and some of the things that we're actually working for myself in the month. So again, let's talk about these prerequisites. I hope I'm saying that right, because I'm gonna look like an idiot if I ain't. But feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm saying it wrong, but I think I am. So you need to make sure that you've got multiple ad accounts. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket, and you have to spread the risk. Now, Facebook, if you didn't know, whoever was advertising in the month of November, Facebook absolutely crashed, okay? It threw a hissy fit. The whole thing went down like 3 days prior to Black Friday, and no one could access the ad manager, and performance just literally just crashed and turned to crap. Okay, so that was a real downfall on Facebook's behalf, but hey, you can't do anything about it. But make sure you have multiple ad accounts. Of course, get your billion threshold increased via Facebook. Of course, if you're spending a lot of money, what you want to be doing is you want to make sure that you've got a high threshold so you don't just reach your limits, and then, you know, what you'll find out, what happened is your sales will go like this throughout the day, and then it'll get to the end of the day, and then they'll start going like that, and again your traffic will start diving down as well. Most of the time that is because you've just hitting your daily account thresholds. Now, to start with, it's at $5,000, I believe, so you want to request it to be $10,000, $20,000, you know, whatever it is that you're trying to spend. Move away from AliExpress. If you're doing these numbers, okay, there's no chance in hell that you want to be fulfilling through AliExpress. It's an absolute no-no. So you need to make sure that you've got your own private either fulfillment in the US or whatever it may be, or if you are still dropshipping from China, again, you need to have a someone in China, a fulfillment agent in China who can source the product, who can stock it for you, and of course can dropship with better times than AliExpress, which cuts out a lot of time from, you know, because with AliExpress they have the whole, you know, the payment verification, then the processing time, which can be anything from 3 days up to 10 days. So it cuts all of that out, and the customer gets the product a lot quicker. So essentially you need to move away from AliExpress ASAP, and I mentioned that pretty much in a load of my different videos. So make sure you move away from AliExpress if you're going to scale big and do these sorts of numbers. Now, of course, you need to make sure that your supplier and customer service can handle the increased sales, okay? This is very important because, you know, one of the things that you don't want to do is absolutely scale up to start doing 10K, 20K, 30K per day, and you realize that your customer service cannot handle the emails, or the supplier runs out of stock. So you need to be putting those things and putting the systems in place prior to scaling up to those days, so that you don't have, you know, so that things don't go tits up when you start scaling, because that's the worst thing. And of course, then you're just going to get tons of hate, angry emails and bad customer service and all that sort of jazz. So to avoid that, you need to make sure that your supplier and customer service team are all in place and everything is in place before you start scaling up. And remember, cash flow is king when it comes to this. Of course, if you're doing these sorts of numbers, yes, you're going to have reserves. Reserves maybe on Stripe, reserves on PayPal and stuff like that. So cash flow very much is king, and so you need to learn how to manage your money, where to pay suppliers from, where to pay with your Facebook ads, and all these sorts of things. So you know, cash flow very much is king. So bear in mind, you've got to keep that in mind. So a lot of people generally try to overcomplicate scaling, but generally this is what I generally stick to. So if I've got something that is up and running and up and working, generally what I'm doing is I'm just testing new interests, I'm testing new lookalike audiences, I then just test them on an auto bid. If something bites, I then scale it. It's as simple as that. Don't try and overcomplicate the wheel, okay? This is basically like it is basically like a wheel, okay? So you find new interests and create your new lookalike audiences, test on auto bid. If you get something that bites or gets profitable sales, you then scale it, and it just works like that, okay? So scaling. So some of the things that were working for myself, again, in the month of November, duplicating good performing ad sets. So 2 to 3 times worked absolutely great. Still does to this very day. Again, on large audiences, millions sort of plus. You know, so if you're starting and testing on $8, you can just duplicate it 3 times, put it at like $50 and cut your losers and keep your winners. I used to be very much against duplicating back in 2017, but you know, because of the whole overlap sort of thing, and people used to say, oh, overlap used to kill things and kill this and kill that. If I'm doing it on large audiences, I have no problem whatsoever with duplicating, okay? And again, it works great and still does to this very day. Now, of course, I use, like I mentioned, multiple ad accounts to effectively just double the spend really quickly, exporting ad sets into another ad account. But of course, I've got a video, I think it's the previous video that I put out on how not to get banned by Facebook, is make sure that the ad account is warm already. So don't just go exporting. If you do start a new ad account, don't just whack them into a new ad account and start blasting off sales, because what can happen is Facebook can just ban, and if they ban that account, then you're screwed. So make sure that your ad account is warm. So of course you want to be doing all these sorts of things prior to doing these sorts of things. Now you got to remember, I was putting in all these works from October before November, because when November comes, everything needs to be in place essentially. So of course you want to make sure you warm up the ad account, and I'm not going to go into how to warm up an ad account. Just watch the previous video, okay? Simple as that. Now CBOs, stand for Campaign Budget Optimization campaigns, I believe. So basically just putting the best ad sets into a CBO campaign and just let Facebook do the work and optimizing for you. They are a very effective way to scale. Now what a CBO is essentially is it just lets Facebook do the spending for you essentially. So if you're putting ad sets into a campaign, instead of daily budgets, you give it a campaign budget, and Facebook will then just spend it accordingly to whichever ad set is bringing you in the best sales. So that is one way that you can scale. And nowadays Facebook is Facebook knows more about the audiences than you do, and Facebook knows more about who's going to convert better than you do. Okay, so let Facebook do the work. Now max manual bidding on the best ad sets again. So only on large audiences I like to do manual bids. 2 to 3 million audiences. What I like to do is create 2 to 3 ad sets with different bids. Starting bid was 3x my auto bid. So for example there, I'll put at the bottom, let's say for example my cost per purchase on my auto bid ad set was $40. Then I'll just create those different ad sets and put the max bids at 40, 45 and 50, and of course scale the ones that are working and cut the ones that are losing and not bringing in any sales. So those are the sorts of things that are working for me in the month of November. Very effective and very a way to scale up to do some big numbers. Now I want to talk about something very special. These results here, okay, you can see I spent close to $1,000, okay, well £1,000, and generated close to $50,000, okay, with a cost per purchase of £2.50, which is under $5. Conversion rate 10%. How did I get this? Not Facebook. Google AdWords, okay. Google AdWords absolutely smashed Q4 for myself. It was absolutely amazing. Again, I'm no Google AdWords expert, should I say. I am no expert. I test things, and when something works, I scale it up. It's as simple as that. I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be a Google expert, but it's still a fantastic way to scale when you've got things that are working. So it's very important to diversify your traffic, of course, because Google is a great way to do that if you've got a winning product. And like I mentioned, if you don't know, or if you was advertising on the platform on Black Friday, in the month of November, you know that Facebook absolutely crashed. So Google didn't crash whatsoever and was still bringing in sales. Now, search, you can set up a search campaigns. This is what I was doing, setting up search campaigns for the winning product, and also use the Google Shopping. I set up Google Shopping as well. Again, I'm no expert, but that's what I set up, the Google Shopping, only for the winning products essentially, because I knew they were a winner on Facebook and others will be searching for them on Google as well, which is buying intent. Now, of course, then what I do is just monitor the search keywords for negative keywords, excluding the bad ones, and of course, including the ones that were profitable or bringing in traffic essentially to into the campaign. And of course, I increased the budget on the campaign overall every 3 to 4 days, looking at the spend and conversions that were coming in. That was pretty much what I done. Very basic stuff. Again, I'm no expert whatsoever on Google AdWords. So retargeting, let's talk about retargeting. So retargeting prerequisites. So hopefully I'm getting that right. So basically you want to set up your custom audiences before you run the test. So all of your VCs, all of your ATCs, all of your pixel jazz and all of your content IDs, all of that sort of stuff. Just set that all up, okay, prior to running the test, because that way it's collecting data right from the off. So I always do that straight away. Then, of course, as soon as you start getting profitable sales, anything from kind of 6 to 8, start doing retargeting. And a lot of people ask me, oh, when should I start retargeting? When should I start retargeting? Don't start retargeting straight away or when you get one sale, because it doesn't really make any sense. You're just then spending additional money on a product which isn't essentially a winner. And, just because you're retargeting isn't going to necessarily turn it into a winning product. So you only really want to be retargeting on once you know that this product is gaining traction. So that's when I set up the retargeting. Now, of course, make sure you set up DPA if you don't know what it is, dynamic product ads, and of course your product catalog feed as well inside your website, inside Facebook ads. And dynamic product ads are a very effective and fantastic way for to retarget. If you don't know how to do it, then just watch another video on how to do it. I'm not sure if I've got one, but feel free to learn how to set up DPA ads if you don't know how to do it already. Very effective way to retarget. Now, retargeting will be 95% of the time your highest ROAS campaign. So put the time into them. A lot of people, when they do retargeting, they just do very basic ones. Hey, you forgot this, get it here, or something really basic, and don't really put the effort into the ad copy or putting in a good creative for a retargeting campaign. So you really want to put some time into a retargeting campaign because they will very much generate the highest ROAS campaigns. So really put some effort and thought into them. So actual retarget. So these are things that you can retarget in, which I was retargeting. So VC, view content, add to carts, initiate checkouts, purchase, niche, VC, ATC, and purchase. For those who don't know how to set those up, again, I've got another video on that, which is fantastic. So for example, everyone who had viewed a cat product, everyone who had viewed a dog product, everyone who had viewed whatever it may be, you can set up these custom audiences for exactly that niche. So those were sorts of things that I was retargeting as well. 95% viewed, 75% viewed as well, because they're kind of very much engaged. And of course, people who have engaged with the page that you're advertising off as well, who may not have seen the product. So there are some of the things that you can retarget in, and which I was always retargeting from. Now, retargeting. So traffic campaigns and reach campaigns both crushed it for me, okay? Absolutely crushed it. I personally like to set up both, but these two more specifically absolutely crushed it. You can, of course, and I still do as well, set up conversion campaigns as well. So people who put them inside the actual native campaign itself. So people who have view content and didn't add to cart. But I find that when you do traffic campaigns and reach campaigns, they very much work very effective. So again, I mentioned that in another video, but they are very effective as well. Now, of course, you offer discounts based on where they are in the funnel. So very important to do. So for example, some of the offers that you can be offering, I've done a mix of absolutely all of these. So low stock, 5% off, 10% off, 15% off. And for example, there we've got people who had added to cart and didn't purchase. We know that they're highly engaged because they added it to their cart. They may just need a last push. So we could just offer them 10% off, and probably 95% of the time that'll convert at a very low cost per purchase, because all they need is that little kick up the bum. Okay. So already had a DPA campaign set up anyway, but what I did do, of course, is I also set up a separate Black Friday, Cyber Monday campaign, DPA campaign. Now this was very much specific just to Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So it had all those specific ad copy, it had those discount codes, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, or the whole Black Friday strategy, which I actually put in place, then watch my Black Friday video, which is not the last video, the video before that one, which shows you the whole strategy. So make sure you go and watch that video as well. So basically I put that into practice, but I set up another DPA campaign which had all of the discount codes and all of the Black Friday specific ad copy in that, and it worked absolutely fantastic. Of course, tested different time durations as well. So add to cart 1 day, add to cart, people who are added to cart in 2 to 3 days, people who added to cart in the last 30 days but didn't purchase. All these sorts of things that you can do, and you can exclude the other ones as well. Now for me, personally, the one that crushed it the most was people, which naturally makes sense anyway, people who added the product to their cart in the last day but didn't purchase. So that absolutely crushed it. And as well, people who added to cart in the last 7 days and didn't purchase as well. So that was absolutely crazy as well. So there are some things to note on a final note. So these are two things that, of course, with it being Black Friday and Cyber Monday, of course, we have the benefit of those and that promotional weekend in between as well. You have that of, you know, generating a ton of traffic and stuff like that. But these two things as well, which I haven't covered and haven't really got time to go into. But of course, email campaigns, which brought in a lot of sales. Feel free to watch that Black Friday, Cyber Monday video, which goes through the whole strategy, which I implemented. And of course, a solid abandoned cart system as well. Now, I was personally able to recover in that month, the last 30 days, over 30% of all abandoned carts. So again, they were fantastic numbers. So you got to make sure that you've got those systems in place so that when people are not purchasing, you know, you can still hit them from a different angle. Okay, so there's some of the things to know. So last but not least, of course, Ecom King 2.0, my course. If anyone doesn't know, then click the link down below. The link will be down below. Feel free to join that and join the team. People are absolutely smashing it and loving it. So click the link down below if you want to personally learn more from myself, okay? And of course, last but not least, nothing but value bombs. Of course, if you got some value from this one, make sure you like, comment, and of course, smash that subscribe button. And be sure to hit the notification bell as well, which a lot of people seem to forget. That way, you're not going to miss out on any of my videos whatsoever, and you'll be the first person to learn the fire content. So make sure, of course, you hit the notification bell as well. If you do want to learn more from myself personally, then make sure you check out my free training down below, and of course Ecom King 2.0, my full course. The link for both of those will be down below in the description. Hit me up on Instagram, drop me a like, drop me a DM, drop me a follow, and we can try and connect on there. And make sure, of course, you join the free Facebook mastermind group as well. I think we're currently nearing to 5,000 members. So make sure you get in there. I'm in there. We all network and help each other and talk e-commerce on a daily basis. So again, the link for that will be down below. Now, I'll be back with another video dropping nothing but value bombs. Make sure you drop a comment down below and, of course, a thumbs up. And don't forget that notification bell. Peace out, and I'll see you in the next video.